Hello, Sharks fans! My name is Jacob Boyd, and I'll be presenting to you guys today the San Jose Sharks versus the Los Angeles Kings preseason Game 4 review. I'll be doing it. Be doing things a little bit differently, where I'll present you the notes that I wrote down throughout the game so I can present the first, second, and third period outlines of what I noticed throughout the game, where they were good plays or bad plays. But starting with this game review, I wanted to let you guys know the starting lineups for the San Jose Sharks, then get into the period by period analysis, then finish up with some injury notes that may have taken place in this game. So starting off with the lines for the San Jose Sharks, in which what they trotted out tonight. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that. And here they are. You got line one is Alexander Barabanov, centered by Tomas Hertl. And on his right wing, you got Anthony Duclair. Then you got second line of William Eklund, Thomas Borderlow, and Luke Kunin. Then you have on the third line, Mike Hoffman, Nico Sturm, and Justin Bailey. And then wrapping the fourth line up is Sabourin, Kaspick, and Todd. Then you have the first line defensive pairing, which is Ferraro and Benning. Second defensive pairing was Vlasic and Mukhamadullin. And then third line was Knyzhov and Jan Ruta. And in goal, you had Magnus Krona, who started the whole game. But getting right into this first period breakdown or analysis, I wanted to kind of go through my key plays of what happened in this first period. So starting off, I have William Eklund. He did a nice job on the PK. He was working hard on the forecheck and getting his stick in the passing lanes, which was good to see. Then you had Nico Sturm and Anthony Duclair a bit on the PK as well, which I wonder, if Anthony Duclair is going to actually play on the PK this year. It's interesting to note why Coach Quinn had him, doing a PK early on in this game. Next, you have Magnus Krona. He was squared to the puck, early in this first period. So good on him. It was good to see him go side to side and square up to all the shots early in this first period. Then you had Mukhamadullin. He had a nice hard wrist shot from the point. It created a rebound, but Mike Hoffman, it couldn't get a good wood on it on the rebound shot, and it attempted to roll over his stick where he couldn't get the full shot off. There was a nice pass from Tomas Hertl in the first where he saw a streaking Anthony Duclair for a breakaway, and he used a great move. Anthony Duclair did, but it was a better save by the goalie. Kind of in the middle of the first period. So really good play from Hertl and Duclair on that one. Then there was more good work from William Eklund and Luke Kunin on the PK on the second penalty kill in that first period, and so great job by that penalty kill unit. Next, you had Mukhamadullin. He was strong by stealing the puck twice on the PK, once by shooting it all the way down on net from his own end. And then he had a transitioning out of his own zone and getting a D-to-D pass and moving into the offensive zone, getting a D-to-D pass from Knyzhov for another shot on goal, where Alexander Barabanov could have been screening the goalie, but instead he moved out of the way for the goalie to save it. Wish Barabanov would have stayed in front of the net there, though. It would have been a nice, either redirect or screen for the goalie. But then Knyzhov gave the puck away at around the 7-minute mark of the first period. Almost turned into a goal for the Kings. It went off a couple bodies in front of the net, but Krona was there for the pad save. So good on Krona again. Knyzhov next shift jumped up in the play in the offensive zone and got a nice pass from Tomas Hertl, and he got a nice shot off on net. So it was a good comeback shift for Knyzhov, which was good to see after a bad play. Next, kind of in the late periods, there was a couple more shots on goal by the Sharks, which ended up with the Kings with 10 shots and the Sharks with only 6. But the Kings were on went 0 for 2 on the power play through the first period, which gave the Kings a little bit more momentum and a little bit more shots on goal. So that's probably why the shot differential happened for the Kings 10 shots to the Sharks 6. I thought that the first period went okay for the Sharks, nothing too high, nothing too low. I did feel that both teams were playing very defensive minded. Next, you had the second period. Actually, going back though, the end of the first period was 0-0 going into the second. But in the second, Eklund had a good chance in front of the net, but shot it wide. He kind of was driving from the low side of the net to cut the middle of the ice. He got a good shot, but just put it barely wide. It was a good move by Eklund. I wish he kind of picked the corner though, which I thought he had that opening. But either way, good play on him. I also like Bordelot getting the puck deep when there was no plays available, or that he was making a line change. I think Bordelot does fight to make plays in that offensive zone, or in that offensive zone neutral zone area where he wants to just kind of dangle with the puck. I felt that Bordelot was getting the puck deep when he needed to. So good on Bordelot in the early second period. Hoffman had a nice shot pass to Barabanov where he tipped the puck on net, but the Kings goalie made a nice save. Really good on Hoffman's part by seeing that, and good on Barabanov, getting his stick available for that shot pass. I thought the Shark zone entries on the power play were really good as well. I like Bordelot and Duclair in the zone entries, but I thought Matt Benning looked kind of not very good on the power play zone entry, which was unfortunate. On the PK, Krona made a nice shoulder save off Foggymo from in close, and Krona just didn't give the Kings any net to see, which was great positioning on his part throughout that middle second period. I loved how Hoffman does really easy breakout passes from his own zone. If you watch him, you notice he makes the right plays, as a lot of the time in both preseason games, he knows his angles off the boards. I think he may be a good pool player with the nice banks and chips off the boards, but he really makes nice, easy passes off the boards, stick to stick. He knows which play to make in that defensive zone, which a lot of people, thought Mike Hoffman was weak in his own zone. Well, it's showing throughout the preseason that he's actually back checking. Even on the power play, he was doing good defensively. So I'm really happy with Mike Hoffman's play so far. But that happened kind of towards the end of the second period, which was nice to see. I didn't like Cunning's board play in his own D zone late in that second period, though. He's not doing the little things to get the puck out of, and he's losing the puck battles against the Kings players, which are keeping the puck in the offensive zone. And, he's just losing out to these little small plays on the board, which are very key to transitioning out of your own zone. And he's not making the right chips like a Hoffman's doing. But I did like Bordelot's zone entries again on the power play late in the second period. I really felt that, all night the zone entries are very, very good for Bordelot. Lastly, the third period, I thought Mohamed had a great shot block when the Kings had a lot of space entering the zone. And Mook was just in perfect positioning, got his stick up, and then the puck went into the net behind Magnus Krona, which I feel that Sharks players do pretty well with, but with the amount of space the Kings players had in that zone entry, because it was kind of a puck that got hit off of a skate, he did a really good job by cutting down the player's shot angle and blocking that shot. Next, you had Barabanov early in the second. He looked like he was trying to do too much. He was turning the puck over. And I just wish that Barabanov can minimize those, throughout, because I thought he was, doing the same thing in the last preseason game and just turning the puck over too much. He is good along the boards. He does make good plays, but in this one, he kept turning the puck over again in the third period. It didn't result in anything bad happening, but wishing that he cleans that up for the start of the regular season. Next, I love Borderlo and Eklund's chance in the third period on the power play where, Boards just passed it through the crease, created some opportunity, and almost got it to Eklund streaking along the left-hand side of the net. The defender by the Kings did a good job by wrapping up Eklund's stick, though. But, Eklund did a nice job really going hard to the net. Bordelot, same thing. Nice getting it through, but not connecting, unfortunately. I thought Jacob Doty went high with an elbow on that Jan Ruda hit, which that is why Ruda was hurt on the play. And, I just felt that he was leading with his elbow into the boards, and he made contact with the head of Jan Ruda, which Ruda went down and hurting, and he didn't get up for a little bit, but then he got up under his own power, which was nice to see. He did not go to the bench, though. He did go off the ice. Towards the end of the third period, Mukhamadullin on the power play had a bomb of a shot, which went just wide. But if he got it on net, that was labeled for the corner of the net. And it was a low line drive, so it could have tipped off of somebody. It could have, been tipped. But it was a really nice shot, and I love to see that from Mukhamadullin getting it through. Unfortunately, it just went wide. Next, you had William Eklund, who walked in at the end of the third period and got a nice shot on net. But I wish he went, like corner side or any corner of that matter, but he kind of just shot it right into the goalie's belly. And it was just a shot on net. But again, he's walking it towards the front of the net, and he's getting a good opportunity. He just needs to pick his spots a little bit better, and he'll get some goals that way. But yeah, that was it for the third period. No score again. Well, I'm sorry. The score happened 1-1, where Tomas Hertl did tie the game late in the third period, but with a nice, screen in front of the net and nice low shot to make it 1-1. But some takeaways, I thought offensively, the best players were William Eklund, Thomas Bordelot, Mike Hoffman, Anthony Duclair, and Tomas Hertl for scoring. On defense, I thought a lot of them did pretty well, but Mukhamadullin was really the standout player all night. Lastly, the best player on the ice was Magnus Krona for the Sharks. I mean, just square to every puck shot. The only one that really got through was through a crazy deflection in front of the net, and really had no shot on that one. So good for him. But then the OT goal was just a non-clear out in front of the net, non-block shot in front of the net, and squeaked by his low blocker side. But overall, I thought he was the best player on the ice for the Sharks. Um, some guys that didn't do well were Alexander Barabanov, like I mentioned, where his game, he's just trying to do too much right now. I thought Matt Benning with terrible zone entries on the power play was another big issue. And, with him not getting the puck out on the PK, where he should have cleared the zone and got the puck out, but then he got hemmed into the zone in OT, and then the Kings eventually scored on that because he didn't block the shot. Lastly, I thought Vlasic's game was pretty poor, where he didn't clear the front of the net on the first goal. I thought he had the sharp. If he did, I don't think that tip would have happened in the first period for the Kings' first goal, which this has been an Achilles heel for the Sharks all preseason long, where they just don't clear out the front of the net, and there's a bunch of either Ducks players, Kings players, whatever team that they're facing, they're all basically crashing the net on the Sharks, and the Sharks defense is not clearing out in front of the net good enough. But yeah, I thought Vlasic's person that was in front of the net just got body position on him, and the guy tipped it in. So poor job by the Sharks not getting the puck out earlier in the shift when that happened as well, because I think it was Scott Sabarin just missed a hit down the boards and really created an opportunity for that point man to get a shot on net. But lastly, some injuries to note. Jan Ruda got elbowed in the face in the third period and went down immediately and didn't return. He did skate under his own power, though, and it shouldn't be too bad. Any hit to the head area, though, I am sure the Sharks will be cautious with him moving forward moving into the regular season. I'm sure so you won't expect Ruda probably to be back in either the next preseason game for that matter. He may be back in for the last one, but I highly doubt that as well. Yeah, well, that's it for me, Sharks fans. My name is Jacob Boyd, and I am here with Hello Sharks fans. If you like this content, please like this video. That would be much appreciated. And check out my next video on the Sharks roster cuts coming out later today. Again, thanks for stopping by. Peace.